We last caught up with Michael Klim 2 years ago when he revealed his life-changing autoimmune disorder.
To the best of your ability, just shift your weight to the right. Okay.
It's chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. Basically, I've lost sensation in both of my feet. I've got a little bit of function in my left foot, minimal in my right foot, and pretty much lost all calf muscles on both sides. Lost most of my quad on this one.
In those early days, the rare condition was tricky enough to say, let alone wrap his head around.
Initially, I was thinking, why was I dealt this card? I was feeling sorry for myself, and I almost felt like this was punishment for something. I give myself about an hour a day to feel sorry and angry and frustrated, and all the other emotion comes into my mind, and then move on with the rest of life.
And that's what the former swim star's been busy doing.
It's definitely been a very interesting 2 years since I spoke to Lisa and announced my diagnosis publicly. I've been inundated with messages of support and love, and messages from other sufferers and carers that are not only going through CIDP but other conditions.
Michael visits Australia from his home in Bali every 6 weeks for plasma transfusions to halt the symptoms of CIDP. There's no cure for the condition, so Michael's focus is rehab to slow the loss of his muscle function.
It really affected my lifestyle hugely, and my favourite pastimes, from surfing and running and things that I used to love playing basketball with my son, they're kind of out of the question now. But I've been very fortunate that I've been able to get some functionality back, but probably not as much as I'd like.
Since his diagnosis, Michael's worked hard to make peace with a cruel disorder that's stolen the physical power that propelled him to Olympic glory.
Pretty much all athletes are taught, if you feel discomfort physically, mentally, you push on. And even after sport, I adopted that same mindset. For me to be more vulnerable and listening to my body, my emotions is something that I'm still learning to do better, and it's something that has helped me a lot. The biggest thing I had to overcome is accepting the new identity. I'm still, obviously, in a lot of people's eyes, the swimmer guy, and I used to rely on my physicality to give me a lot of mental toughness, and now that physicality is actually gone, and I need to find other mental sort of strength to overcome the physical disabilities.
If anything, the debilitating disease has given him more than it's taken away.
It's actually changed my perspective on life. I really sort of value the time I have with my kids a lot more than I used to. It's brought my family much closer together. It's reignited a lot of friendships and relationships that I had in my life.
Including with former swimming mate Ian Thorpe.
My condition has, if anything, reinforced our friendship, and he was very good at checking up on me, making sure I was okay, not physically but mentally, through this whole period.
At 47, Michael has reinvented himself and is sharing some of the lessons he's learned in a new memoir.
I feel like my life has had 3 defined chapters, so my sporting career, life after sport, and recently, obviously, my health battles, and a lot of them had given me different lessons in life, but there is some really underlying messaging there that I felt that everyone can benefit from.
His purpose in life is now to give back, from fronting campaigns for plasma donations to creating a foundation dedicated to supporting other CIDP sufferers.
I feel that my superpower is my normality and the fact that anyone can experience these sort of things. And so my service now has become something that I'm trying to turn into a superpower.
And as much as he still loves the water, it plays a very different role these days.
I use it as my mindfulness practice, really, and I swim once a week, maybe twice a week. Certainly, I don't feel great in that anymore. With my legs sort of dangling in the back, I don't have much of an engine when it comes to swimming quick, but luckily it's still easier for me than walking.
Such a monumental shift when your identity has been in your physicality and then that goes away. But you realise you would never wish anything like this on anybody, but it is how you deal with something that is dealt to you that makes all the difference. Like all of that deepening of those relationships that he's had, the understanding of I need to spend more time with my kids and appreciating that time. Like those are incredible gifts.
And he'd have the mental toughness of being an Olympian, right?
Yeah.
Like that would really come in handy now.
I think it must have struck all of us, just that description that he had of the link he always understood between the physicality and his mental toughness. But now having to rediscover that without the physical, I mean, it just must be such an extraordinary transformation for any human to
And understanding
to go
that
through.
strength is actually about vulnerability, you know, which is a really important thing to realise.
Well, Michael's book is available from Wednesday. Grab it, it's a great read.